Inflation in the United States stands at a 40-year high, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. This has led to the Federal Reserve increasing interest rates and conducting quantitative tightening. Now, Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary, in a speech yesterday in London, went ahead and said that may not be enough. He actually thinks that we have to have a 5% unemployment rate in order to combat inflation. Now, if we go look at his exact statement, what we can see is that Larry Summers said, we need 5 years of unemployment above 5% to contain inflation. In other words, we need 2 years of 7.5% unemployment, or 5 years of 6% unemployment, or 1 year of 10% unemployment. There are numbers that are remarkably discouraging relative to the Fed Reserve view. Now, many people may ask, what the hell does it have to do, inflation and unemployment? But let me walk you through how this chain of events usually occurs. Inflation is very high right now, and so the Federal Reserve wants to combat it. They're going to raise interest rates and they're going to conduct that quantitative tightening. As they do that, they are trying to destroy demand. If there's less demand for goods and services in the economy, that means businesses' revenue will go down. If their revenue goes down, all of a sudden, they become much more concerned about surviving any sort of market downturn. If you're worried about surviving, you want to make sure that you have a strong balance sheet. And if you need to have a strong balance sheet, that means you have to get your expenses under control. Normally, when people look to their balance sheet and look to cut expenses, one of the areas that they will cut first is layoffs. So one of the things that you're likely to see in the coming months is in anticipation of a market downturn, many businesses will start to lay off employees. And as they begin to do that, many of those companies will have a direct impact on the unemployment rate going up. Currently, we sit around 3.5%. It's a historic low, similar to where we were right before the pandemic started. But as businesses start to prepare for a potential recession or some sort of bad environment, that rising interest rate, that quantitative tightening, it is ultimately going to lead to business owners trying to anticipate the future. They are going to start to quell their expenses. They are going to start to lay people off. And I would expect the unemployment rate to go up. Now, will it get 5% or more for 5 years? Will it be 10% for a single year? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But what I do know is that Larry Summers understands how the economy works. And he realizes that the Federal Reserve is going to have to get tougher on the inflation story, or else we risk inflation getting out of control. And so at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve will continue to raise interest rates and conduct quantitative tightening until something breaks. In the meantime, businesses see what's going on. They'll start laying people off, and the unemployment rate will definitely rise.